So, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Andrew Turner and Stelios Kampakis, Dr. Stelios, for episode 4 of Thrive in the Age of AI. So, welcome. We're going to pick on a topic which is dear to Stelios' heart today. His new best friends, his new BFFs, autonomous agents. So, what was on your mind, Stelios? You said there was something that you'd spotted, something that you're deep inside it now, even in a very big transformation program when it's all coming to life. There's
Yes,
now some announcements.
yes, exactly. So it looks like we're going to witness a protocol war. And we're going to relive the days of HTTP and TCP/IP and all that, but for AI. So in the last few months, everyone's been talking about the MCP protocol for agents. And recently, Google announced its own protocol called the agent-to-agent protocol. So I think exciting days ahead. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be one of the top three topics discussed this year.
And for people that don't know the MCP model, how do you describe that?
I mean, look, it's still the early days, so I barely had the time to get my hands on it. But all these protocols, they kind of try to do the same thing, which is you have agents where an agent is essentially an LLM, and you want these agents to speak to each other as well as to speak with different APIs and products and services. So I remember a long time ago when APIs became a thing as an architecture, and now APIs are like everywhere, right? So now the problem is that if you have an agent, it's not always easy for the agent to access certain services on a website. So that's one, right? So they would need to know the API documentation, and this might not fully reflect the capabilities that you'd get by accessing a website directly. At the same time, agents can't necessarily talk to each other right now. You'd have to figure out a way to code this, and a protocol can facilitate this type of interaction. So once we get a protocol in place, then it will be easier for anyone to develop AI agents without having to overthink how to integrate them with different platforms, tools, and so on and so forth.
Because I suppose agents started as kind of like as just chat interfaces, yeah, and now they're kind of evolving to be more like a full workflow. Is that what you would say? Is that the
Yes.
maturity it's going down?
Yeah, exactly. So it's maturing. So it's like full workflow and better scale, and so on and so forth. Yeah, and again, when you have a protocol for something, it's standardized the end-to-end operations. So I think this is really the key in this particular situation. And obviously, we have to see how this is going to pan out. My assumption is that one of the major players, be it Google, Anthropic, OpenAI, will come up with a protocol that will be more popular than others, and eventually that's what everyone is going to be using.
Yes, I noticed there was a report by Sequoia Capital, which one of the big VCs in the Valley, in Silicon Valley. I think they put it out last Thursday, so we can share that link to that report when we publish this episode. But they were talking about different, obviously cursor. We talked about before about the auto completing code before. The kind of the cursor agent. It's been pretty popular in software development. But they're also talking about Harvey, which I now think is like a legal AI startup that's doing agents for legal work. And it can now kind of complete, not just do a case review, but also do the workflow document review and actually make recommendations as well. So actually have some reasoning in the way it works as well, which is pretty impressive. So I suppose that we'll start to see more and more kind of, I suppose, functional agents, I suppose, develop over time.
Yeah, I mean, reasoning capabilities, they're already there. They're far from perfect, but they are there. So imagine if you can combine reasoning and planning and all these capabilities with an understanding of um, how to use a tool, which tool is the best for the job, and so on and so forth. So I expect a lot of these things to be standardized in the near future, and it's going to contribute to everything we've been discussing so far on this podcast. That is a lot of jobs being displaced and jobs changing nature, or new jobs being created, completely new jobs being created entirely.
So so you see 2025 as being kind of the year of kind of experimentation, would you say? And then the 26 is going to be more kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
large scale transformation, large scale switching to this new model. Is that what you?
yeah. Yeah, I think it's an S curve, and now we are still maybe somewhere around the midpoint of this S curve. So 2026, 2027 is when we're gonna start reaching the top of that curve, and things will start becoming a bit quieter, but no more or less disruptive. No
Mm.
more or less disruptive. I guess there might be, unless there's some fundamental breakthrough in AI, I feel that what we're going to see is wider adoption. That's what I expect to see.
So people are now, I suppose, what you're saying is with the Google announcement, it's kind of like is it the start of standards coming in? Is that what you're saying? It's like standards are now being established, which previously weren't there.
Yes, exactly. Right. So this is what the protocols are about. And I think this is the main thing, because think about the World Wide Web. If you have a protocol around how to exchange information on the internet, then you can build everything else on top of it, which is what HTTP was as well as TCP/IP. So this is what the agent protocols will be doing for us. I'm pretty excited about this, because we can focus more on building useful stuff than having to deal with these types of matters. And also, you do need a big company to back this up, right? Because I don't think a protocol can come from a single individual or a small group of people. So I'd say that's definitely a very positive development. It just remains to see which ones to be seen, which protocol is going to be the most popular. I wouldn't want to start building on a protocol, then suddenly there's, it's like the worst with the mobile phone operating systems. So I remember it was like Android and iPhone, but there were all other kinds of systems like Symbian and the Windows Phone, which now is nowhere to be found. It's not necessarily about one being better than the other, even though in some cases they might be. It's also about the question of popularity. And I think in the early days of standardizing any type of technology, be it software or hardware, this question is always there.
Just thinking what else came out of. I noticed there was that's the last week or so there was the GTC event with Nvidia. I don't know if you saw any news from that that was worth sharing. Did you get
No,
Jensen Fangham in
no, I
it at
didn't
all?
have the time to take a look at it. What my eyes are on this right now is the new version of ChatGPT. OpenAI said that they're going to release O3, the proper O3, not the mini version. OpenAI also said they're going to release ChatGPT 5 in the next few months. And there was also an upgrade where
Right.
they allow ChatGPT access to anything you've ever written on the platform, which is pretty cool. So this is where Uh, so this is, what where my eyes are focused on. I'm pretty interested to see what happens with Claude. A lot of people swear by Claude. They say it's ahead of the curve or more human. And I feel these are the two main players. These days, I don't hear as much about DeepSeek, even though it's cheaper to access the service. Nor do I hear about Mistral. But now Europe is just been left behind in this race. I'm not sure if anything's gonna change. But yeah.
No, I mean I saw Mistral. I think last week they announced Gwilym, one of their heads of enterprise sales. He announced $100 million deal that Mistral had just signed with a logistics company. So they are obviously they're trying to they're obviously starting to seek some enterprise adoption now. That was Mistral. That was.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw this, but I didn't consider it a very significant news story because it seemed to be, I think, a French company, and Mistral is in France, so it kind of all looked like a consulting deal, which I'm like, okay, it makes sense, but what they're doing. I think where what I like to spend most of my time on in terms of news stories and things like that is improvements in the actual AI. So I think Mistral is cool, but it's just not ahead of the curve. But obviously, I can see them maybe building a consulting company out of it and capitalizing, on the French market and things like that. I can definitely see this, but it's really
What
things
about
like
what about Manus then? Have you had a look at Manus?
yes, but I couldn't get access to it. I've spent more time on. ChatGPT Operator, which I
Mm.
guess, again, with these things, You see one company do A, then the other company is gonna copy it. It's very impressive, a bit slow, right? But it's quite cool. And it does show us what the future of agents will look like. Future, I mean, the next 3 to 6 months. So essentially, ChatGPT operator allows you to open up a browser, and then you give it instructions, and it does things for you. So I can definitely see this happening. I just don't know, how fast, right? It feels it takes a lot of processing power. It's still slow.
Yeah, Mana seems a bit like it's like under restricted availability as well at the moment. Because I
Yeah, it's
effectively
not that
kind of,
easy to access.
yeah. I suppose that's going to be the key, isn't it? It's going to be the distribution of access that's going to be the key for success.
Mm,
And
exactly.
anything else happening in the Tesseract Academy for this week, or
Yes,
any
there's a lot
new
of things
news?
going on. Yeah, today we are organizing an event on crypto regulation and AI at Level 39 in Canary Wharf. We have a live event coming up in 2 weeks with Samir Rahman, who's been voted as one of the top chief data officers in the UK. It's on data strategy. Then after that event, there's another event on how to design good tokenomics. I know the crypto market's a bit underwhelming this year, but I feel it's gonna come up anytime now. And then we're also organizing a few other talks, one on AI storytelling, and later this year on AI and product management. So a lot of things going on. Just make sure to visit our Eventbrite page for live events and our web page if you want to learn more about AI Master Program and how it can help you.
Cool. And when's the next event then? Is it at the end of April?
It's today and then on the 1st of May.
Okay, cool. We can put those links in the episode and get
Yeah,
people
yeah,
to
absolutely.
and let people sign up for them at their will. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for joining this week, Mr. Stelios, and see you soon.
See you soon.